Alright, so I'm waiting for your response. Where are we joining from? Okay. Alright, so for those of us who are having issues with the chat box, so you will see where we have the live chat. So and then you could see a place where you could comment. So once you type, you see a place where you could send. So I would really like to know where we're joining from before we kick in. We are about to start a GFE. Alright. So are we ready? If you're ready, you can make use of the emoji. So let me know if you're ready. Okay, Mr. Destiny, I see you, but you're not telling me where you're joining from. Alright, so we are about to begin finding your path in tech, step into tech with purpose. We had this last week Saturday, but we had network and light issues, so we could not proceed. So we are hoping we could push in. We're hoping we could scale, we could get that clarity we want, we could get that initiative, we could get that idea, we could get practically everything. As from today, when you get to hear about tech, you don't just say, oh, tech is only about coding, oh, tech is not for me, and every other thing. That's the major reason for today's webinar. Today's webinar, rather. Okay, so I'm trying to get. Alright, so let's just dive in. But before we're diving into tech, what are you to expect in today's webinars? What are you expecting from today's webinar? You know, we've been going back and forth for the past 2 weeks now, saying join the group, join the webinar, attend the webinar. What I believe we're expecting from the webinar. Alright, so the first thing you'll be understanding first is understanding what tech really is and why it matters in today's world. Okay, I'll be walking you through what tech really is and why it matters. You know, most people have been saying, oh yeah, I've heard of tech, but I don't think it's for me. And why does tech really matters? Okay, so we'll be looking at that, and also we're looking at discovering different opportunities available in tech world. Okay, the opportunities, we have different opportunities. Okay, we have different opportunities in tech. Alright, and the third we're looking at is how you can identify uh, where you fit in tech. Like I just say, yeah, people just say, oh, tech is not for me, but I believe tech is for everybody. The only thing is just that you've not come in alignment with which tech skill fits for you. So at the end of this webinar, you will be finding where you align in tech. Alright, and then also I will be exposing you guys to free platforms where you can learn any tech skill of your choice. You know, somebody reached out to me and was like, what do I mean by free? There are some tech skill you might want to pay for, and I would say even if you have to pay at all, it's for their certification. But I was able to pull up good platforms whereby they're going to teach you any tech skill you want to learn for free. And by the time you could take their exams and then you pass with a grade of at least 70 and above, they are going to give you their certificates completely for free. So you don't have to burn out your fee. You don't have to think of paying one academy or the rest of fee. And also, one of the major one is you're going to learn how to position yourself after learning. You know, I tell people one thing: you learn to ask yourself one question. Okay, I want to learn this field of my choice, but you're not skill. Okay, we have billions of people learning that skill. So how do I defend myself? How do I manage myself? How do I let people know that over the past few years I have grown my skill as a digital entrepreneur, a creative strategist, and currently I would say I'm a neuromarketer. Okay, so I am also a self-taught digital entrepreneur, That's thing I will be showing you today are things that I myself have done over the past 3 years, and also I also have protege also too who have taken my template and who are currently doing either still learning, they're done learning, or they're making waves in the tech industry. Okay, so but before we proceed, let's play a game a bit. Okay, let's play a game because one of the things I realize most of times when it comes to neuroscience, and one of the neuroscience has taught me, is when a new thing is shown to us, we tend to like want to go debunk it. We want to like, okay, fine, this webinar, finding your part in tech. Oh, I know what is tech. This webinar alone is not just for those who don't really know anything about tech. Who know about tech, they've started, they've dropped. I've seen people who are designers, who are UX designers. They are good at what they do, but when it comes to designing, or when it comes to, okay, fine, why are they not making? Most people say, oh, I've seen some tech people, okay, and there's a big difference. They're learning other tech. So when I tend to interview people, like, oh, and they come to see something and they feel like, oh, what did you really want to tell us? So that's why I want us to play this game. Okay, so please let's be prepared, let's open our mind. Okay, so now let's look at this logo, FedEx logo. Okay, let's look at FedEx logo. It's, I don't know who knows this logo and what they do. So if you know what FedEx logo does, if you know what FedEx as a brand does, you can use the chat box and please tell me about what they do. I want to show you guys something really quick about perspective. Okay, so can you use the chat box and tell me FedEx logo? This logo you're seeing is FedEx. Can you tell me basically what they are into? Okay, if you know the logo, you can say I know the logo. If you're not familiar with it, you can tell me you're not familiar with it. Alright, so I'm sure many of us will have looked at this logo well, we've seen it. Okay, I'll explain for those who are just seeing this logo for the first time. I'll just explain in a brief, but that's not like major thing. So now I've seen this logo and I would want to take it back into a blank screen. Now, this logo we are seeing now has some key elements in them, and I would want us to identify those elements. We have some elements like symbols, like an arrow in this logo, okay, and then we also have a teaspoon and we also have a wheel in this logo. So I don't know if you could just tell me where we can locate the teaspoon, where we can locate the wheel, and where we can locate the arrow. Okay, so if you know where they are found, you could look at it and then let me know. Okay, you can look at it and let me know. Yeah, I've shown it for about 2 minutes now, and I want to see who can find those elements. I'm sure most of you will be wondering, okay, what's in teaspoon they find for logo? Most designers just pull up on designs. Oh, this logo is actually fine. So this FedEx logo, there are teaspoons, there are wheels, there are arrow. Okay, can you just identify where they are? Okay, so please, if you're just joining us, please you can drop your name and where you're joining us from. It will really go a long way for me. Okay, so transportation, e-commerce, and business service. Okay, yeah, but this their logo. There's teaspoon, Mr. Akim Israel. There's a teaspoon in this logo. There is a wheel and there's an arrow. Can you like show me where they are? Okay, so can you show me? Can anybody just tell me where they are? Okay, let me show the logo again to make it clearer. So this is the logo here. Okay, so we have the teaspoon within the E and the D. So if you take a look at it, let me bring my cursor so you can see. So we have the teaspoon here, okay, and we have the wheel here, and then we have the arrow here. Okay, so basically I want to be sure that today is not the first day we are seeing the FedEx logo. And I know you'll be very, very shocked when I say teaspoon. The Nigerians that are here will be like, teaspoon, okay, what's it teaspoon they find for here? Wheel, like I don't understand why did these people put this inside here? It's a theory of its own in neuroscience, but I would just want to bring something about perspective. So for those of us who have seen this logo more than only God knows how many times, we've not really seen it and it's there. So one of the time I do tell people something that if we don't pay attention to things, if we don't tell ourselves that this thing is important, it would not be. Okay, the reason why we have billions of people trying to do one thing and we get few people who achieve those things is because their perspective. So there's a way our brain is wired. Okay, it's wired to keep you safe. And that's why I don't use this. I don't want. I'm trying to see if I can get another example, but anytime I want to give people that example, that's what keeps coming to my mind. So the reason why someone who has a body deficiency, which we call body odor, would not really perceive. Sometimes I ever wonder, does these people not really know how they smell? It's because the body system is designed to protect you. Okay, so your brain, your hand, your finger, every other thing. So that's when you hear this other principle also too. When you hear a gunshot, what are you supposed to do? Okay, we Nigerians when you hear gunshot, we don't want to know. The first thing is we run, but reverse is reverse. So our brain is designed to wire, and when you want to learn new things, it depends. Try to look at most of the people tell me, Victor, it might likely not work for you, and I'm like, no, don't worry, Jai. As long as I'm making money, I want to. But they're forgetting the fact that you need discipline. And one of the major things I do tell you, ask yourself, there are billions of people who want to learn what you're willing to learn. Okay, you have to be the best of the best for you to land yourself that paying job and the rest. So these are basically the real problem, and I'll be showing you the turning point before even learning this. If you learned the skill before, wonderful. But if you want to come into it, there are things you should know, that clarity you need to get before learning that skill. Okay, so skill, you need to take your time and understand yourself first. Okay, you need to know yourself. Sometimes I do play around, I do ask people questions, but it sounds insulting, and I stop asking. Sometimes I do ask people, oh, who are you? And what I hear is, oh, I'm Dimlade, oh, I'm Oche, oh, I am. But that's not really what I'm asking. I'm asking you. Okay, your personality. You need to know yourself, your capacity, what resonates with you. Just the same way I ask, what's your talent? Okay, what's that thing you do that you can do easily? Your likes, your dislikes, and every other thing. Then you find a way to now root it straight and take and say, okay, fine. I'm a creative person. Fashion. Just imagine someone who likes creativity. Okay, who likes fashion, who likes designing, and he said he wants to learn coding. Okay, yeah. Coding also has its own creativity, but sometimes just imagine you doing something that only you have to run it before you can see what you're building, and style and every other thing. But design is something more concept than the rest. Okay, so you need to understand you first before learning the skill. Okay, and now let's look at the tech landscape. Okay, the tech world. So I'm saying I'm going back and forth. I want to be sure I'm still connected, so I don't want to be talking to myself just like the last time. So if you're just joining us, please tell me where you are joining us from. Okay, so the tech landscape, I was able to divide them into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 gaps, because I'm tired of when people talk about tech, what comes to your mind is coding. Sometimes people don't really consider design as tech itself. So we have the creative tech, where we have the design, branding, UI, UX design, content creation. Okay, we have marketing and goods. That's where we have the marketers. We have the search engine experts, which is also SEOs. We have copywriting, and we have ads. Okay, we also have the data analysis concept, where we have data analysis, business intelligence, AI tools. We have the development, where we have the web, mobile application, softwares, the coding, creation, bringing things into light. Then we have the product and business. That's where we have product manager and the rest. Then we have community support. I'm trying to. Okay, and one of the most amazing things is this: I am practically 90% of all of these things, because I learned all of these things for free. And what really kept me going is one question. Okay, fine, because I remember far back when I started, I started as a Facebook ad expert. Just running Facebook ads. That's what I started as. Just learning Facebook ads. And then I realized somebody was like, oh, do you run Google ads? And I was like, yes, I run Google ads. And I went, and then we have Google Workspace, Google Skill Shop. Okay. Okay, Mr. Ambrose from Lagos. Okay, thanks for joining us, Mr. Ambrose. Thanks for joining us. So, if I tell my journey how I learned, and even when I become a tutor in tech, I had no skill, but one thing I knew was before coming into tech, I was a teacher, a secondary school teacher. So presentation skill was nothing, but everything is a skill. But all of this tech skill, I could say today, I'm a social media manager, a digital marketer, I'm a web designer. I code, but I don't code again because I have people code for me now. And I also build websites without coding. But if you want me to build a website for you these days, I say, no. Just refer to my team. My team will give you best hand because I have best hand in KTA. But I remember when I started, I was a jack of all trade. Once you tell me, oh, there's this job opening, there's this job offer, I know I don't have that skill, but I know there are free platforms like then we only have YouTube. I tell people, if you want to learn how to wash your teeth, come to YouTube. YouTube will teach you. So the only currency you're paying for is your time and data. But if you're wondering, oh, I've seen so many Tech Academy, they ask you to pay 15,000 for a 2 weeks class, 3 months class, 300k. I don't have that money, and I want to make money. YouTube is there for you, and so many platforms which I'll be exposing you guys to. Okay, so let's move. The learning struggle, free or paid, still confused. The free platform, we have YouTube, we have Coursera, we have Alison, okay, we have Cisco, we have billions of free platforms, but still, why are people not leveraging it? There's this normal saying that Nigerians will say is once it's free, people jump on it. But the major thing is, I have people who are currently using these platforms, but they're still confused. We have paid, we have NIT, we have a brand I was working with, one of the best brands in Lagos before I had to leave and come to Benin. We have Digital Tech Academy. We are doing beautiful work there. We have short boot camp. You see them online. 2 weeks class. You see people tell you, I'm going to teach you how I make 6 figures in a month or in just 2 weeks. You join, you sign up for the free ones, you sign up for the paid one. Then after I have a friend of mine, sister, who I've been trying to push. Then she tried to come into tech, and then she paid to learn a skill, and it was a 1 month class. And then she posted, oh, I finally completed a course in social media management. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's good. As a fellow social media manager now, let's converse. And I was asking her some questions. So if a client, because she was like, okay, fine, she wants to position herself. Like, if a client asks you, how do you generate KPIs for a brand? And she was like, she doesn't do KPI, she doesn't know what KPI is. And I'm like, okay, fine. What about data analysis? I was like, no. The only thing is that I know how to post. And I actually got a question now. If you're a social media manager, you just know how to post, and then you have another social media manager like me, who is a social media manager, who understands KPIs, who understand data algorithm and how the algorithm works, who do you think the company want to go for? So that's one of the reasons which I'll teach you later in the slide. So the major problem is access to learning is everywhere, but clarity is missing. But tell me something. See, the reason why it pays for everything is because for him to gain clarity, he has to pay for it. But I do say, well, it depends on what you are paying with. You don't have to pay money for it. It's just your time and then your data. Okay, so all of those data you are burning to watch TikTok, for the guys who are gamers, like I would say, I'm the only guy on this. No, let me say I'm the only guy, but I'm one of the few privileged guys who do in tech and is not a gamer. Come ask if you like. I don't know. I see people like, you don't play game. I was like, yes. Because I feel like all those data that I'm wasting and everything. Come on. Once I learned that, okay, there's one competitor. There's this new skill would amplify my skill. The next thing is I just get sub and the rest. I learn that skill, devote myself in it and see how it's going to move with the help of neuroscience. I rewire myself, tell myself the reason why I need, and then I move. Okay? So, why most people still struggle? I've mentioned some tools, most people have gone online, most people know about all these tools, all these platforms, and still, why does it struggle even after learning? This one now is for those of us who have that skill. I've been privileged to meet so many people who have, when I see their design, I'm like, oh, you should be working with brands, you should even be a freelancer. But what's the struggle? They get clarities and skill, but lack of industrial experience. This is one of the major ones. Nobody, when I said, okay, would you love to do intent? Like someone who DM'd me of recent, oh, I want to help you design your flyer. And I was like, okay, but what's the initiative? It was like, I would like to join your team. And I was like, okay, is it intern? It was like, no, paid. And I was like, have you interned for any brand before? No. Have you worked with any brand before? No. Okay, how do you build a portfolio like some, website gigs and everything, which are very, very lovely. But the main truth is this: for you to work with a brand that pays you, even if not 6 figures, but if I want to say that pays you 5 figures, let's have 5 figures, okay? Like, let me use my brand for example. I think, the least person who work for my team, I pay them 5 figures, okay? I want to see that, not just, oh, I can do the work. I want to see the brands you've worked for. And they have to be credible brands you've worked for. Okay, if I could say, okay, fine, come join my team. But people don't want that industrial experience. So you just pull up one design from their own, can ask them, okay, fine, what about the end users? So you need to understand all of that, and you can only get that in intent. Okay? They think having a portfolio is enough. It's just the same thing with university. when you're sitting there, tell you, oh, you have to know people. That's the same thing too in tech. If you have your portfolio, there is somebody that is bidding for that contract that don't have portfolio but have goodwill. Okay, there are people who have portfolio, who have internship certificates, who even have somebody who is inside the brand who would tell you, there's one of my mentors that I keep forgetting his name. I was watching one of his interview, and they're like, one of the advice he would give when I found I want to have a coach. What's the method? And he said we should go for CRM, which is getting a coach, a mentor, and a sponsor. And he explained all of that too. But I want to stick with the sponsor for this one now. There are people who have that portfolio and who have a sponsor who will speak for them in. And you just have a portfolio and you feel like, oh, I have a portfolio. Once I show them my portfolio, I was telling someone of recent. When I said, I said, see, I like your design, but it's because I took my time to go through it. But the way you presented the portfolio was a turn on for me. Okay, and other one also too, they avoid internship or voluntary. When I tell you, come on, even if not for me, go online, search for volunteering skill, work for an NGO. Even if it's a 3 month, sign up, build your portfolio, build the recommendation letter alone will go far. I have about 5 people who came to KTA volunteered, and I think out of the 5 of them, I think 3 of them are earning 5 figures more than what they're earning. But they worked with KTA for 6 months when I started last year. They're like, oh, I want to come work, I want to design. And they were able to build. I think one of them DM'd me. I was like, there's a video she did for KTA that landed her a 6-figure gig in the US. And I was like, oh wow. But I see many people these days, when it comes to volunteer, oh no, I know they do. When it comes to this thing, I don't know. So sorry, pardon my mixed English, but I prefer using it that way to give that Nigerian vibe in it. So they expect money to start flowing immediately. This one is a lot. In fact, someone was literally telling me, I had a meeting with a energy sector, even though it was so annoying because my roomies were disturbing. And after the call, and they were like, oh, Victor, wow, sorry you changed phone. You're speaking of this and everything. I know it's going to be million. And the guy was like, Alpha, I want to learn. Like, what will I learn? I'll start giving money. I looked at him and laughed. And I said, you know how long it took one of the most successful people who are in tech who are doing very well. If you hear that side story, you hear people. And we are back. Focusing on every week, we'll focus on one key area of growth. It's not just about learning tech itself, learning tech itself. We're also taking, like, in fact, we're using the first 3 months to look at what works for you and only you. Recovery. You, what you do and everything, what works best for you. Okay. The second thing we're looking at is walking you through. Oh, okay, fine. You've looked at how do I put it? You've know what works for you. We've gotten the tech that works best for you and every other thing. The next thing first is okay, fine. We know most of the time, I think 80% of everybody are students. In fact, 90% of us are students. We have lectures and every other thing. Even me, I'm also a student too. Okay, so but I need to find, okay, fine, the time that works best for me, because I still learn. I'm currently learning neuromarketing, though I should be graduating January, first week of January, yeah. So if you look at how packed my calendar is, I start on my calendar, so different courses I'm currently learning, and she was like, are you not, like, I don't know, are you not tired? And I told her, okay, I get the fact that I want a brand now, okay, but I believe in the principle, as long as you're still alive, you keep learning. The very moment you stop learning, you are a living dead. Like, that's my principle. So currently, I'm currently learning neuroscience, I'm learning neuromarketing, and I'm trying to see how I can, I think I'll be starting a new course on psychology. Neuroscience, that's neuroplasticity and every other thing is more or less like, advanced psychology. So when I hear some of these neuroscience terms, I now realize that okay, I need to, get those terms from psychology, and then try to balance everything. So I keep learning. So okay, the third thing also is accountability check-in. Okay, me and the rest of my team, Ella, Favor, and the rest that's basically when I learn any tech skill. I'll try and see how Angel too. These are people who are also like in these tech sectors, and I'll see how they could always come in, put you through the trends and everything. Now for the project and real practice, that one it's like more or less like a plot, but it needs to be the portfolio and a community of support. Okay, you get lucky, you might like not be the only one learning that particular skill. And even if you're the only one learning that particular skill, there are billions of communities where you could join. Okay, to share likes, mind, and the rest. So these are the basic things you will learn. So the proof that the system works, I would say, I'm more or less like a living testimony. Like I said, I think this is what I'm emphasizing on it. When I started my tech journey, I finished secondary school, and my dad was like, "Okay, fine, be coming home," and I was like, "Okay, fine." Just for me to get to an environment whereby the only job there is either you become a sales boy or you become a teacher. And as a government school student, who you know that we literally work our butts off, if not you repeat a class. And I was like, okay, let's just go into teaching, and I become a secondary school teacher. But still, I was still making use of my friend's phone to learn. Then I have Deborah also too. I currently even have somebody who is in Fushu who is also learning, but she has really been falling my hand these days. But she also teaches the living testimony. She's a self-learner. She's a UI UX designer too. And so I have about 5 people who are currently self-learning, and I have about 15 to 20 people who have done self-learning, and who some of them are volunteering, some of them are in paid internship, some of them are working and the rest. So if it's proof, there are so many self-learners. We have the likes of Abdul, Angel. In fact, there's a community in Lagos and who are currently transforming Africa. The Smarter House. Practically every smarter you're seeing there are all self-learners. Okay? And you see the amazing work they are doing. Like, no, let me know if they are doing, because I'm actually a part of them. I'm also smart and too. So that we are doing, we're shipping Africa big time in different sectors. We have one who's into quantum computing big time, and all of these people are people who devoted their time into self-learning and picked the template and it worked for them. Okay, so if you're looking at it that you've emphasized on self-learning is not possible. Some of us will be like, if I don't pay for a thing, I don't get the value of it. No. Okay? You really don't have to. Okay? Free can take you far, but growth begin when you decide to commit. So most people, when it comes to that commitment, they'll be like, if I don't pay for this skill, I really don't. But the major thing is, you don't have to be committed with payment. Okay, you can commit with your time. Okay, and it takes a lot of energy, because basically you need to rewire your brain first. You need to tell yourself some things. There are some things you need to expose yourself to. Tell your brain that this I want to learn is important. Yes, I know there are free platforms that I want to take and the rest. Then you start seeing possibilities in learning that skill. Okay, so if you are interested in this, it's completely free. Okay, it's free. If you're interested, you can just send me a DM with the word journey, or you can DM my assistant Ella on WhatsApp. So you can just call the number on the screen to save me the stress. Just DM her with Johnny. I'll call her number out. That's +234 for those who are not in Nigeria. So +234 903 783 9813. So just DM with the word Johnny. Number again, +234 903 783 9813. So you can DM her. She's going to try and look at my calendar and see when I will be free, and then hopefully I could go on a meeting with you. And then for both of us who are in Fushu, that's Federal University Health Science Otukpo, if you see me maybe after class around the vicinity and everything, I am not free, you can definitely approach me and I would see what we can cook up. Maybe max a 40-minute section, and then hopefully can scale and say I can free my calendar and so I can go on a call and the rest. So like I said, this tech thing, Nigeria needs to take advantage of it. It's not just about how am I going to put it, the white and every other thing. We can do big things. Like I said, I lay emphasis on the Smarter now. They're literally doing big things in Africa, and these are young people like me, you, and I. Okay, but the difference between them and you guys is we have the leverage. We have a leverage which is Smarter and the rest, and the resources and every other thing. Principles, okay, and also, but it's accessible. Like I said, information is everywhere, but clarity is not. So let's take note of that. And then I don't know if we have any questions. I would be very, very open to questions. So you can ask a question now. You can use the chat box, okay, and ask a question. Okay, if you have a question, you can ask a question now. If you feel like, okay, maybe like I said, even me, I'm currently experiencing some network issues here. If you see me, you could definitely throw a question. You could, you know, DM the number with questions to go forward, and I will answer as best as I can. So, like I said, for those people who were like, oh, you said you can search your name, you can follow me on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Even though I really don't take my social media life serious because of how busy my schedule is. And if you feel like you really can't recall those platforms, you can just go online and just search for Okworie Victor Emmanuel. You would see my biography there, my profile, and every other thing, and then you would be able to get the basic information you want. Okay, and this webinar is also sponsored by Confirm Tech Africa, okay, which we are on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Okay, you can also follow us too on Facebook, Instagram, and X, because apart from we running deliveries and every other thing, we also pick keen interest in young minds. Okay, practically everybody who are currently under KTA now are young minds. Okay, so we do post internship. For those of us who have the skill, who are trying to sort, and you know you're very, very good, it would be best if you could follow us. And I think max from January, or maybe hopefully this December, we might likely be opening up some space for people to join the team. And you can also visit our website, just like Confirm Tech Africa. You'll see our website. You can visit our website. You can just like confirmtechafrica.com, and then you could go and visit the join the team page. You can fill up the form there. That's for those who are in tech already, who are trying to find a brand they want to work with. You can fill up so you would be part of so we can add you to our newsletter. So once we are releasing an opening, you will be the first people to know, and they'll be the first people to apply. Okay? Alright guys, thank you very, very, very much for this wonderful section. But I want us to remember something. Remember to stay curious, stay consistent, and stay connected. And I want to be very, very sure that by now you're able to answer all the questions that has to do with tech, what tech is, what it's about, everything that has to do with tech. Okay? And like I said, I still remain Vepdicreative, even though I still feel very angry when people spell that word or pronounce it, which is DEP. And most people ask me, oh, why Vepdicreative? So my name is Victor Emmanuel Prince. You can see my surname, Okworie. Okay, I have personal reasons why when you ask me, tell me your full name, I really don't tell you I'm Okworie Victor Emmanuel. It's not odd. So I tell you my name is Victor Emmanuel Prince. So the abbreviation is the VEP. Now, I am the creative. So, and most of the when people hear me speak, I'm a public speaker and the rest also too, they tend to like, okay, how to the voice, how to the face behind. So for them to know, oh, I'm still a Gen Z. So instead of spelling the creative as THE, I started spelling the Gen Z kind of way, DI, which I got inspiration from one of my distant mentors, which is TJ, TJ the Creative, who is a radio presenter at UFM. So that's a good inspiration for. Okay, and I just added my name there. So instead of me saying Victor Emmanuel Prince, the Creative, I just said, oh, I'm Vepdicreative. My full name is Okworie Victor Emmanuel, who is also the founder of Confirm Tech Africa. Alright guys, thank you very, very, very much. So for those of us who, feels like, okay, I'm having network issues and everything, don't worry, I will take my time, edit, and then upload the replay for everybody who wants to, watch again. And if you need the slides also to this, you can DM me. Okay, you can always DM me and I would send the slides. But I would want us to sign a social contract that we should please don't use my slide. Okay, because it took my time, energy, and everything to pull this up. In fact, not even my energy, my media team to just give me something simple. So it won't be really good for you to use the slides. Okay, but if you really want to go through the slides yourself and see all those stuff and the rest, or you feel like you want to you want to reach out to me, or I want to reach out to Ella, feel free. Okay, so have a lovely day, everybody, and bye for now. Alright, bye guys, and we are ending.